Do you have acne and experience food fear? Are you afraid to eat certain foods thinking that they might trigger a breakout? Or do you know that there are certain foods that cause acne for you, and when you do eat them, you're just so afraid the entire time that you're gonna get a breakout? That was me too. Hi, I'm Dr. Shannon Curtis. I'm a naturopathic doctor and holistic acne specialist. When I had acne, there were a couple different foods that felt like they always triggered acne in me. For me, personally, those were dairy and sweets. Whenever I would go out and have anything with cheese on it, I would feel like I would immediately break out, like I'd get a big cystic volcano on my chin. And so over time, I started to really be afraid of dairy. I would go out to eat and I would pick off the cheese. And if I did get a little cheese in my food, then I would be so worried the entire time that I was going to get a breakout soon afterwards. And lo and behold, I almost always did. And so it made sense that this food fear really started to get a stronghold on me because I started having this expectation that if I ate these trigger foods, that I was going to get a breakout. And the stress around that, the stress around the fear of those foods was in the end so much worse than the actual foods themselves. And that's because the stress, if you're eating in a place where you're stressed out, you're not going to be actively digesting those foods very well. And your body's also going to have a different response. Your nervous system is going to look at that food and be afraid of it too and have that kind of reaction. And so when I'm working with my clients through their food fear, it's a really fine line balancing between, yes, there are certain foods that can be dietary triggers, and then we also need to rewire your response around these foods so that you don't have that same reaction moving forward, because the stress around eating those foods can be so much worse and more of a stressor for your skin than the actual food, whether that be dairy or sugar or any other dietary trigger that tends to break you out. So yeah, it is true that there are certain foods that can be more inflammatory, that can lead to more acne in certain individuals. But once those root causes have been addressed, because the food really isn't the problem, it's just a trigger, so to speak. It's a fuel to the inflammatory fire. Once the underlying causes have been addressed, those foods really aren't the problem anymore, and they can be totally enjoyed in moderation. So really getting to the place where those root causes have been addressed, whether it's blood sugar issues or gut disturbances, intestinal hyperpermeability, a nervous system stress, whatever is underlying that is driving the reaction to those foods, once those have been addressed, the food sensitivity or the food issue usually resolves too. However, what I've seen is that even long after those underlying factors have been addressed, a person can still hold on to food fear and be afraid of these foods because in the past they led to breakouts. So it makes sense that your body is still holding on to that memory. However, it's really important to work through the fear that comes up and process that, because you want to be able to tolerate those foods. You want to be able to see anything on your plate, look at it with love, and be able to digest it and eat it knowing that no matter really what it is, it's going to nourish your skin. And of course, those healthier whole foods, unprocessed foods are going to be better for your skin, and you want to focus on those a majority of the time, by 80-90%. But in the long run, you want to give yourself that little bit of wiggle room to enjoy those foods that, might not be the healthiest for your skin, like sweets and baked goods and those kinds of things, but give yourself that opportunity to nourish yourself on a different level, on a soul level with those foods. And so here are some ways to really enjoy those foods again and process through the food fear that can come up, because it's really important when you're on this acne healing journey to really have a healthy relationship with the food that you're putting in your mouth, knowing that it's nourishing your skin from within. So you're sitting in front of your plate of food, no matter what is on it, right? No matter what is on that plate of food, I want you to look at it. I want you to take a few nice deep breaths in through your nose. I want you to smell the food, really look at the food, know that you're about to eat this food, and maybe say some thanks to the food as well, or for whoever prepared it, so that you're in a really good place. Your nervous system's in this great place to properly eat and digest the food. And then take your first bite of food. Put your fork down, or your spoon, whatever you're using. Really taste that food, really focus on all the sensations that are going on. And as you're chewing the food really slowly, really mindfully, I want you to say to yourself, this food is nourishing my skin. This food is healing me from the inside out, no matter what it is. It could be a bite of cheesecake. I want you to really focus on how good it tastes and knowing that it's nourishing you and your skin from the inside out. And so do that throughout the meal. As you're eating that food, focus on the taste, focus on your gratitude for it, really savor all the sensations, all the flavors, and put that thought into your mind that it is healing your skin, that it is helping you heal from within. And even if it's a sweet treat or a baked good or something maybe not typically healthy, right, we can still see it as nourishing this part of ourselves. Oof, that tastes so good. What a sweet, sweet, sweet treat to be able to enjoy right now. What a gift to myself, and really offer that in. And things that can also be helpful as you're eating foods and navigating your fear around them, visualize your skin healing as you're eating it. Visualize yourself, tell yourself, like, my skin is going to be fine. I am safe. I am safe. This food is safe. And you might just have to start with a little bit of the food at first, just have a little bit on your plate with all the other stuff that you normally eat. So you start to get used to it, and then you work your way up until you're eating an amount that's comfortable for you. And yes, of course, you want to still be focusing 80 to 90% of the time on whole, unprocessed foods, nutrient-dense foods, but give yourself that wiggle room, right? Because whenever we're so strict and we're holding back and not letting ourselves have things, there's this inner child in us that really wants it, that will go out of our way to get it and then feel really bad about it afterwards. So if that's you and that's something that you resonate with, allow yourself that wiggle room, allow yourself the opportunity to nourish yourself, nourish your skin on a different level, on a way that's pleasurable, right? All the spectrum of foods can be pleasurable if we allow them to be. If you're someone that has acne and is navigating food fear, share below in the comments about your experience and what you gained from this video. And be sure to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful.